It was a massive year last year. It's the best like I almost could have imagined. We can always kind of be safe and just stay within a comfort zone. But we're always trying to push the boundaries. Take the risk and go all in.
We take the Olympic gold, so what now? All the limitations we surround us with, we just have to break away. Sub-7 as the goal is just to see how fast can we really go.
It's a very simple lifestyle. Being on training camps, swim, bike, run, just repeating what I've been doing. But that's also what I dreamed about when I was a kid. I remember first time going to Las Playitas in Spain for a week there, training camp. I was just training 3 days, 3 sessions per day, and laying there in the bed middle of the session and just thinking, just imagine if I could just do this for the rest of my life. Yeah, bon appetit. Two of everything, yeah. It's going to be a double hard day. Well, I was a swimmer, and I was maybe known for training really, really well and kind of pushing really hard. But I was just not getting the results in the pool as I was expecting.
This one is really inaccurate, if you wondered. If you want to lose all your confidence, just step on it. It doesn't work, they say. It's something wrong with it, so it shows a little bit too much.
Decided to give a local triathlon a try. I won that one, and then a few months later, we started up with the youth national team in Norway. So at the moment, it's end of January. I've been here in Sierra Nevada for nearly 2 weeks. I have 4 weeks to go. This is a place, it's up in the mountains, 2,300 meters of altitude. So we're here to kind of improve the blood cells, like getting more hemoglobin. So when I get back down to sea level, I will be kind of 10–15% better because of the extra amount of hemoglobin I have in the body. What it takes to achieve in triathlon is the willingness to do all the hours. My biggest skills is that the amount of work I can do over a longer period of time, both in a single day, like we have when you do an Ironman distance, 7 hours each of racing, and being on the camp for 5, 6, 7 weeks. The kind of skills to recover between the session and also doing the right decisions on the session to be able to have a really consistent training period over a month. Good, it's 4 months until St. George. Now it's measuring me a little bit too late, so it's probably low.
Oh no, it's not too late. It's never too late.
It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
One of the things that I really enjoyed with Christian was that he was extremely dedicated. I think that was what really fascinated me. Christian is extremely or mentally strong, and that allows him to dig much deeper than what you would normally, expect.
We have a scientific approach, and that's helping, obviously, me as an athlete to believe in the program, but it also, I think, makes it easier to get as close as we possibly can to human performance.
From after Rio was the time basically where I started to work with Christian. Saw the biggest gap that we needed to close first, which basically actually was intensity control. They were going way too hard most of the time in their sessions, and the problem is that the body adapts to it. And then we basically started to bring down the speed, change a little bit on the workouts and these kind of things. And from there, and 6 months later, they basically had an improvement of, in average in the group, of approximately 19% at race pace, power.
The Olympics has been my big dream for 10 years plus. It was only gold or nothing. I really needed that gold medal, so it's more like checking off the box. It's kind of good to come into like a new season with different kind of goals. We have still a lot of areas where I think I can get stronger and more race fit for the next one.
You take the Olympic gold, so what now? Because it's not about the Olympic gold, that's more like a reward on the way, while we just look at, okay, how fast can we go? Can we break some limit? Can we learn something new that basically nobody ever thought was possible before? All the limitations we basically, how they surround us with, we just have to break away and see, can we approach this in a different way?
Redefines impossible.
3 minutes, 59.4 seconds.
59.40, the unofficial time.
All sports have impossible targets, and over the iron distance, breaking 7 hours for the men or 8 hours for the women is almost...
Having the sub-7, which is kind of a very unique opportunity to be a part of.
Sub-7 as a concept, or having a target of just saying, okay, how fast can we go? That's something that is much more exciting.
3.8K swimming, 180K bike, finishing off with a marathon. The unique thing here is that it's not just you and yourself. It's me and my team with 10 pacers against George Skipper and his team with 10 pacers.
The ultimate aim for most people trying to do like their first Ironman, they probably want to break 14 hours. So we're trying to cut this in half.
A huge part of the race actually is not about Christian, it's about the pacers.
We can swim like 45 minutes to 47. Bike element of it, we've got to go so quick, 52 kilometers an hour, averaging as a team like 400 watts.
I think it's going to come down to nearly almost everything on the run.
We'll see as a run split in an Ironman that have never before been done.
I think everything cool involves a bit of a risk. Yeah, we're not in the sport to be like safe. We're here to really push the limits.
It's all about getting the margin on our side.
CADEX as a brand started back in the late 80s as what we called a moonshot.
We introduced the first mass production carbon frames.
CADEX is kind of about where only the best is good enough.
We started working with Christian as he started targeting sub-7. We really wanted to get more involved in what we could do to help him achieve that.
We started working from scratch and just making fastest bike possible out there for triathlon.
When we started developing a product, the primary goal of that product is how can we enhance the athlete's performance. There's a lot of talk about aerodynamics, but when you get into an event like a triathlon, a full Ironman, these guys aren't doing 1 hour time trials. They're doing, 3 hours on the bike.
You have some bikes out of the box, aerodynamic-wise, they are great. But if you make them race ready, you need to add some drinking systems. Suddenly, They lose 10, or 5, 10, or even more watts just by adding the bottles.
We looked at how we can redesign the bike to get endurance aerodynamics. And then on top of that, when it comes to aerodynamics, historically, our industry has always looked at how we move air around the rider. We're lucky enough to have an aerodynamicist who has come from the F1 field. He realizes that moving air through the rider also helps make the bike faster.
So now we are in France. First time I get to meet the Pacers, the team. We have kind of some days on the track where we can really work on the position and kind of playing around with how we were riding in the group. Not necessarily just like one by one lane, but if we can find some different formation that we can use in the race, and also kind of getting the numbers. So the people behind the scene can do the calculation and try to find out how we can do it next time we meet.
You're managing okay, Christian, yeah? It's not too hard for you.
It's okay.
I think what really probably shocked people was when we came to Cozumel. Not only did we win, but we also took the outright, iron distance record in the debut.
People were giving me almost as much credit for the Cozumel race as I got for winning the Olympics.
This, I think, truly shocked the world, much more than actually had happened before, because it was so extraordinary compared to the performance that people expected to have in an Ironman, and he did it on his debut.
The biggest risk for me and kind of for the team is more like trying to do it again, trying to replicate Ironman distance within 4 weeks.
St. George is a completely different project than, for example, Sub 7. Unfortunately, they come very, very close, so we need to prioritize one or the two. Putting all these things together is one of the key elements to really be able to individualize and extract the most from every athlete.
This boils down to a little bit that, okay, if we say that this guy now in the front there, he's pushing 100%.
Yeah.
And that's the one that defines the speed of the group all the time. How much energy, by your experience, do you save in the second position? One thing is the paper, but what is your experience?
I think it's probably like you're losing like 20 watts.
So that means that basically during this pull, you still see a high number for the 10 minutes that you are in the front there. Yeah. This means that if we even now say that this is you stay there for 5 minutes, you stay here for 5 minutes, just to make it very simple. If you just pull this number, that means basically that you see 420 watts average.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we basically see for the next 20 minutes 270 watts.
You build it up.
Yeah.
So it means basically you're gonna do 7 intervals with 420 watts. It boils down to how do we bring up the speed, the average speed of the group. That's my major concern.
Into the St. George race, we traveled 3 weeks early. I had like the whole first week where I was sick. So there I was like thinking, okay, I have airplane tickets back home after the race. If I hadn't booked them before, I would probably just have left before the race. I felt so shit and so unprepared. Like normally, you never want to have a DNF, so you always want to finish the race. But I was actually standing there on the start line thinking that I'm now here, and it's okay to get a DNF. Like, I'm just taking like my ticket in the lottery and hoping that I have a good day and that my body will respond. I was like puking up on the start line. Felt so shit. Standing there on the start line so weak, and I thought, okay, I will just do the swim. And then after 60K on the bike, I will literally either go hard or go home, because then we passed where we had our Airbnb. Then starting the run, I thought, okay, I'm still in 6th position in the World Championship. Some guys up front will probably fit off, so it's a podium. It's something I'm happy with. So I didn't race for the win at this stage, but more just to collect apples of the guys who was falling down. I think it was after 10, 15K that I started thinking, okay, maybe I can actually take the win.
It's time for an interview.
So it's me and you.
What's this guy? What's this guy? Get him out.
Media.
Yeah, media here.
No way. You're out
Yeah, so we're working hard.
Here we go.
We got a new job.
Christian likes to get involved with many jobs on the team.
It is mine.
What was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it yesterday.
That's good.
He's made it. Not only a great rider, now he's got a new job.
I think that for me, first of all, of course, you had a very clear goal. You wanted to be the first in history to both win the Olympics and long course World Championship, Ironman World Championship. But of course...
And the World Series.
Exactly. You also on the road there, you took the World Series as well.
But I also wanted 70.3. But so 3 out of 4, it's good.
And you got both the 70.3 record and you got the 140.6 record, or actually Ironman records as well. So I think that that's something that, of course, we can't ask for anything more than that.
It's not just the results, but like a few years ago, people were maybe laughing a little bit about the way we were working, going too much into the details, not performing as we were talking. Like we could do the talk, but we didn't do the walk, to now suddenly be in a position where people try to copy what we do and really try to dig in and understand how we're working. And it's not just 1 or 2 athletes, but it's the whole team, and that's, yeah.
And actually for the greater good of not only our performance, but actually maybe even, hopefully, humanity.
Down here.
Almost 2 years of build up or in the planning, and it's good to sort of feel so ready as we do. The team is really looking sharp.
A lot of the guys, you know, like they want to just do like the fastest bike split. I said to them, like, you're not the important part to this. It's how do we deliver Christian to the, you know, the fastest time, like, overall, and we win as a team.
I am obsessing over details, but one thing that I feel really confident about is the work that you have been doing. I know from all the dialogue that I've had with Matt, with Bob, and the rest of you, that the job is done. So I'm confident. I'm super chill. You're making the job of my life very easy. So I'm here actually just to see that...
one team, come on, one team. Everybody in, come on.
You just count the medals and you feel like that's the important thing. I don't think it would have been worth it. It's important to also enjoy the journey Today we all will be swimming. We will be checking the temperature.
Yeah.
Woo!
Finish that.
Yeah, yes.
Christian, I'm going to go running now with Christian.
Do you like to do anything?
We're gonna go run.
Yeah, we're going to go running.
And this is the lifestyle I was kind of dreaming about as a junior athlete.
I think working this way, you also need athletes that are equally dedicated and equally crazy and equally driven to just almost, sacrifice everything to just be the best.
Years ago, we talked about world champion, world record holder, Christian Blumenfeld. Basically unbeatable over the last round. Christian Blumenfeld do this and continue to sweep all before him. Absolutely. Now he sets off once more to attempt to be the first man to break 7 hours.
The gun went off, felt Lars was swimming smooth, and I was able to be in a good rhythm.
See a huge gap between Christian Blumenfeld with his swim pacemaker, 7-time Dutch national champion Lars Batelier.
He has completed that 3.8k swim. He's got a massive gap.
I remember running out of the water on the beach and up the stairs. I felt like, oh, the quads is already tired just from the swim. But let's see how it goes on the bike. Really cool to start riding with the 6 of us in the beginning.
Won't be long until these two come together. Now under a minute from Joe, who was 4.5 minutes down after the swim.
Even like halfway through off 90 to 100k, I was just thinking that this is tough. Okay, maybe this is a day where 3:30 is enough.
Races move out of the way. They deliver the world champion, the world record holder, and the Olympic champion. A man who has done what no athletes in this sport have ever done in the last 12 months, and off we go.
Settling into good rhythm. Not sure when we got him, but yeah, from there on we have to put the hammer in now and just make sure that we always increase the gap to make it up to 2 or 3 minutes.
Christian Blumenfeld remains in control.
I felt it there the last 6k.
Never been a range like this in the sport. There's been athletes that have progressed up and got better with age and moved up, but never an athlete that's been able to switch and change between race distances.
He's got an engine that you'd seldom see.
Christian Blumenfeld in his 3rd ever long or full distance race. The first one was the world record. The second one was the world title. And if there's any doubt left in anyone's minds about this man potentially being the future GOAT, put it to bed now. 6:44.26.
Yeah, what a day, what a team, and to come into the finish line and see everyone there, kind of see how engaged they were, sharing on. Yeah, the team spirit there was, very special. I'm proud of what the whole team has done, more than what just I have done. How do you achieve the impossible? This is how.